often a vision about the kingdom of heaven. How will it be when I'm reading the righteous scriptures and the Most High Yahweh? He's in His Holy Spirit to lead and guide me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. Often a vision about the kingdom of heaven. How will it be? Can you envision? I wonder, can you see? Can you imagine how the kingdom of heaven will be? Can you envision? I wonder, do you think? Can you imagine a place where we can truly be free? Can you envision? I wonder, can you see? Can you imagine how the kingdom of heaven will be? Often a vision about the kingdom of heaven. How will it be? I just let my imagination run free. There will be no more Jim Crow, that's for sure. We're landed will no longer be. There will be no more strange fruit hanging from the popular tree. You know the first will be last, and the last shall be first. Can you picture that? The rose of Esau and Jacob, Israel shall be reversed. Can you envision? I wonder, can you see? Can you imagine how the kingdom of heaven will be? Can you envision? I wonder, do you think? Can you imagine a place where we can truly be free? Can you envision? I wonder, can you see? Can you imagine how the kingdom of heaven will be? Often a vision about the kingdom of heaven. How will it be? I just let my imagination run free. There will be no more Jim Crow, that's for sure. We're landed will no longer be. There will be no more strange fruit hanging from the popular tree. You know the first will be last, coming at you with another live out of the shot. I'm Brother Yagda Israel from the fourth son of Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. We will be endeavoring to bring forth biblical and historical information from the Bible and from historical books and records. The name of the broadcast is Let Your Light Shine. Title of today's teaching will be The Feast of Unleavened Bread, day number 4. The Feast of Unleavened Bread. We in day number 4. My brothers, my sister, if my calculation is correct, this would be day number 4, entering into day number 5. My brothers, my sisters, day number 4 of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. For questions or comments, we can be contacted by phone. That phone number is area code 331-312-4022. Once more again, for questions or comments, we can be contacted by phone. That number is area code 331-312-4022. We can also be contacted by way of email. That email address is yhdhysrael@gmail.com. Once more again, if you want to drop us a line, you could do that by way of our email. That email address is yhdhysrael@gmail.com. And we are simultaneously recording tonight on Facebook as well as our YouTube page. And you can get to that YouTube page by going to yhdhysrael and subscribe, like the video and subscribe. Once more again, that YouTube page is up under the name of yhdhysrael, my brothers. Same as the Facebook page. They both are under the same name, but attached to that Facebook page is our so-called government name, my brothers. That government name is attached to that Facebook page. But you can also get to that Facebook page by going to the congregation of YHWH, the congregation of Yahweh. Or else you can get there by going to Let Your Light Shine. Either way, you can get to that Facebook page, my brothers, my sisters, my people. In the time slot that we're in for the broadcast, we begin approximately about 6 p.m. And we usually run to about 8 or thereabout, my brothers, on Tuesday and Friday. This past Tuesday, though, we was in the feast, first day of Yahweh's Feast of Unleavened Bread, the righteous convocation. We had a righteous convocation the day before we observed Yahweh's Passover, as it is written in the scriptures, my brothers, my sisters, my people. For Yahweh gave straight commandments what you should do to live and what you should avoid and what you should do to avoid punishment, my brothers. So we want to observe this thing as it is written in the law of Yahweh, my brothers, my sisters, my people. And we come back on Saturday, Shabbat class, and it begins roughly at 2 p.m. on what they call Saturday, which we know is the Shabbat day or the 7th day, which Yahweh sanctified and blessed. No other day did he sanctify and bless other than those days that are constituted as high days, holy days, the feast of Yahweh, my brothers, my sisters, my people. Like I say, we was in Yahweh's, we was observing Yahweh's Passover, and we also uh, uh, we kept the feast of unleavened bread, my brothers, and that runs 7 days, beginning on the first day, which would be the 15th of the first month, according to what we can read, my brothers, my sisters, my peoples. We want to do what we do first and foremost. We bring forth the name of the supreme deity, the name of the Most High Yahweh, which we will be using exclusively, which they call the Tetragrammaton, my brothers, my sisters. The significance of Yahweh's name. This is from the Topical Encyclopedia, and it reads, the name of Yahweh holds profound significance throughout the Bible, serving as a revelation of his character, authority, and relationship with his people. In the scriptures, names are not merely labels, but encapsulate the essence and identity of individuals. This is especially true for the name of Yahweh, which is treated with utmost reverence and awe. Let's peep at the divine name, YHWH, and it reads, the most sacred name of the supreme deity in the Shemitic Hebrew Bible is YHWH, often rendered as Lord in English translations. This name is first revealed to Moses at the burning bush in Exodus 3, verse 14, where Yahweh declares, I'll be that I'll be. The self-revelation signifies Yahweh's eternal, self-existent nature and his unchanging presence. The name Yahweh is derived from the Shemitic Hebrew verb to be, emphasizing Yahweh's role as the eternal, ever-present one. See, we can pull out a second article. This is from the Academic Dictionary and Encyclopedia, and it reads, the Tetragrammaton in the New Testament. Archaeologists have discovered papyrus, fragments of works which were later included in the canon of the New Testament, dating as far back as the middle of the 2nd century. Of all 5,000 extinct manuscripts, none contain the Shemitic Hebrew, the Tetragrammaton, the Paleo-Shemitic Hebrew, or Greek transliteration. For example, of the Shemitic Hebrew name, YHWH, one of the most ancient fragments, the Papyrus Codex, designated Chester Petit Papyrus, number 2, page 46, is dated prior to AD 200 and contains 9 of Apostle Paul's letters. In the Chester Petit Papyri, we find KC and sometimes OC with the horizontal bar above them in citations of the Shemitic Hebrew Bible, where the Tetragrammaton occurs in the Shemitic Hebrew text. These are abbreviations for Kyrios, which was later translated as Lord, and Theos, which was later translated as God, normally known as Numena Sacra, or the sacred name. The abbreviation may not have been part of the autograph but may have been substituted as a shorthand sometime later. An alternative thesis have been advanced that Yahweh would have been present in the New Testament autographs only to be substituted by the Numina Sacra. So they say that the name of Yahweh, the 4 letters, was removed somewhere around 7,000 times, and inserted in its place was what they call the Numina Sacra, or Kyrios and Theos, later inserted as Lord and God. This is how we got Lord and God in this English translation of the Shemitic Hebrew scriptures. My brothers, my sisters, my people. We're going to go grab us some scriptures to bag up our premise while we use the 4 letters exclusively. My brothers, my sisters, my people. In Exodus 3, verse 13, it reads, And Moses said unto Yahweh, Behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, I shall say unto them, Yahweh of your fathers has sent me unto you. And they shall say to me, What is his name? What shall I say unto them? I want to pull out a second that emotion in the book of Proverbs 30, verse number 4. Let's pull out a second that emotion. We'll run to the book of Proverbs, chapter 30. I want to peep at verse number 4. Book of Proverbs 30. I want to second that emotion. They're going to want to know what's your name. Not what was substituted, my brothers, my sisters, my people. The book of Proverbs 30, verse number 4 reads, Whoever ascended up into heaven, or descended, who have gathered the wind in his fists, who have bound the waters in a garment, who have established all the ends of the earth. What is his name? And what is his son's name? If thou canst tell. Now in the book of, I want to follow that up with a statement in Deuteronomy, chapter 32. The book of Deuteronomy, you want to peep at chapter 32. And want to look at about verse number, let me just take a wild guess. Verse number 10. Let me see what we can come up with. Deuteronomy 32, verse number, well, I'm off. I want to get down to verse number 15. Let's pick it up at 15. Deuteronomy 32, verse 15, because the Most High called this thing through the pen of Moses. What would happen in these last days, that his name would be altered by these new false deities that would arise on the earth. The book of Deuteronomy 32. We want to peep at verse number 15, and it reads, But Yeshurun, Israel, waxed fat and kicked. Thou art waxed fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook Yahweh, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. Verse number 16. They provoked him to jealousy with strange deities, false deities. With abominations provoked they him to anger. Verse 17. They sacrificed unto devils, not to Yahweh, to false deities whom they knew not, to false deities, new false deities that came newly up, my brothers, my sisters. And you didn't get your Kyrios and Theos until somewhere around the 2nd century, my brothers, my sisters. Your Lord and your God wasn't even in the original manuscripts. It didn't show up until the scripture was translated from the Shemitic Hebrew to the Greek tongue, my brothers, my sisters, my people. And then you didn't get your sweet baby Jesus. They didn't start working on it till 1524, about the 16th century. They had a little grip on it, and they really finalized that thing in 1700. Then they put that J out there in 1881, and Jesus became sweet baby Jesus, my brothers, my sisters, my people. Let's get back to this thing. We're going to go back to that Exodus chapter 3. We want to drop down to verse number 15. So Moses said, when he come to these children of Israel, the nation of Israel, which at this time had just became a multitude and was getting ready to be an official nation with their own language, with their own culture, with their own land, my brothers. Until this time, they had been sojourners in other nations' land. Exodus 3. And we want to peep at verse number 15. My brothers, my sisters, Exodus 3, verse 15 reads, And Yahweh said, Moreover unto Moses, Thus shalt thou say unto the family of Israel, Yahweh of your fathers, Yahweh of Abraham, Yahweh of Isaac, and Yahweh of Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, has sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations. So the Most High is on record saying that the name that was delivered to the children of Israel, YHWH, which we pronounce Yahweh, which we will be using exclusively, that would be his name forever. So if anybody came and altered his name according to his commandment, as they say, I pity the fool, right? The one that added Kyrios, Theos, Allah, Buddha, Baal, Asherat, Moloch, Shambus, and your sweet baby Jesus, my brothers, my sisters. Let's go grab us a second, that emotion. In the book of Acts chapter 4, verse number 7, and it reads, book of Acts chapter 4, verse number 7, and it reads, Acts chapter 4, verse 7. And when they had set him in the midst, they asked, by what power, about what name have you done this? We're going to drop down to verse number 12. Now they are surrounded, right? The Apostle John and the Apostle Peter. They want to know who you working for, right? By what power and what is his name? Now Peter gonna drop a bombshell. The Apostle Peter gonna knock some heads with his response in the book of Acts chapter 4, verse number 12. He laid it out plain and simple. In the book of Acts chapter 4, verse 12 reads, neither there is salvation in any other, but there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. And that word must mean there's no other alternative. You must get up under the 4 letters, YHWH. If you desire salvation, You're not going to get it in the name of Lord God or Jesus. Peter said, the apostle said, that there is no other name given under the heaven among men whereby we must be saved. Let's peep at that word. I think I got it in my repertoire, my brother. I want to peep at that word. If I got it readily available, I want to take a glance at it. That word called must. Let me see if I got it somewhere around. I thought I had it somewhere around here. Where's that word called must? There we go. I knew I had it somewhere. But I had a little bit difficulty tonight trying to get going, but nevertheless, we worked it until we worked it out, my brothers. The book, we're reading from the Merriam-Webster's, and we want to look at the definition for the word called must. Be commanded or requested to. Be urged to. Oh, by all means. That's very powerful there. Oh, by all means to. So you must, by all means, get up under the 4 ladders for salvation, my brothers, my sisters. I want to look at one more definition here. Be required by law, my brothers. Custom or moral conscience, my brothers. 2. So Yahweh said that the 4 ladders, that will be his name forever. That's a law. That ain't no request. That is a commandment, my brothers. It's in the first 5 books. Hallelujah, Yahweh. But let's peep at this thing. Let's go back. We want to run to the book of St. John. St. John calls the Apostle John, when they cornered him in the book of Acts chapter 4, John was right there with the Apostle Peter. And so he had a second to what Peter had uttered, my brothers, my sisters, in St. John 20, verse 31. But these are written that you might believe that Yahweh, the Hamashiach, the Son of Yahweh the Father, and that believing you might have life through. You got to get up under the 4 ladders, my brothers, for this eternal life. Peter said that there's no other name under the heaven given among men whereby we must. That's a law. My brothers, my sisters, my people. But let's run on down the road. We want to run to the book of Joshua. Now, Oshia, the son of Nun, he has some very good advice for the 12 tribes of Israel. In the book of Oshia, Joshua 23, verse 7, it reads, that you come not among these nations, these that remain among you, neither make mention of the name of their false deities, nor cause to swear by them, neither serve them, nor bow yourself unto them. So out of the mouth, the pen of Oshia, Joshua, the son of Nun, he declared that the Most High don't want us to make mention of the name of these false deities. Like Lord God, Jesus, Allah, Buddha, Baal, Eshtarat, Moloch, Shammuz, my brothers. He don't want that to even come out of our mouth. Nonetheless, to bow down and reverence these false deities, my brothers, my sisters, my people. Let's see. We're going to run and grab us a few more. Then we're going to get ready to prep. You know how we do this thing for our clips. We're going to run and grab us a few more. And then we're going to prep for our clips tonight. And we're going to keep it moving. We're going to get back with it on the other side. Title of today's teaching, The Feast of Unleavened Bread, day number 4. My brothers, my sisters, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, day number 4. My brothers, my sisters, my people. If my math is correct, I believe this day number 4. For whosoever shall call upon the name of Yahweh shall be saved. Once more again, the Apostle Paul reiterates what Peter and John had to say about this salvation. It's up under the name of Yahweh, my brothers. Verse 15. Romans 10, verse 15. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a teacher, someone to bring the information to their ears? And that's what we're doing tonight. We declaring his name, my brothers, just like he commanded us to do. He wants his name out there front and center, my brothers, my sisters. That's the only name to be reverenced. The only name to have awe about is the name of the supreme deity, Yahweh, YHWH. So we are doing our little part to let that name be known, my brothers. We are doing our little part to publish the name of the Most High Yahweh. Exodus 9, verse 16, and it reads, And in very deed for this cause have I raised thee up, for to show in thee my power, and what? And that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. So he wants his name declared throughout all the earth, my brothers. That's a commandment too. Exodus 9, verse 16. It's part of the first 5 books, the Torah, the law of the Most High Yahweh. And in very deed for this cause have I raised thee up, for to show in you my power, and that my name may be declared, throughout all the earth. He wanted his name from city to city, state to state, country to country, nation to nation, continent to continent. He wanted his name declared throughout all the earth. And we're doing our little part to cause that to be so. Let's get us one more, and then we're going to get ready to prep for our clips tonight. We're going to run to the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6. The book of 1 Timothy chapter 6. If we want to peep at 1 Timothy chapter 6, we're going to pick it up at verse number 1. 1 Timothy chapter 6. And we want to peep at verse number 1. Let me see if I can close some of these out so we won't get no issues tonight. 1 Timothy 6, verse number 1. Let as many servants as are under the yoke count their own master worthy of all honor, that the name of Yahweh and his teaching be not blasphemed, my brothers. You got to have his name on the table and his doctrine, his teaching. We know he said that the teaching that he received came from the Father. So you gotta have Yahweh's teaching and his name. My brothers, you gotta get up under the 4 ladders whereby you must be saved. Let's peep at this thing. We're gonna get ready for our clip, but we're gonna prep for it. Let me see what I can come up with. I wanna get my prep. Where is you at? There you go. I'm hitting the wrong thing. As I open my eyes to another day, I see the sunrise, and I begin to say, ooh, Yahweh creation, ooh, it's so amazing, so marvelous. And I wanna thank you for giving me another day. Ooh, I wanna thank you. I wanna praise your name for giving me another chance. I wanna praise you. I wanna give you thanks for giving me your mercy and your grace. As I open my eyes to another day, I see the sunrise, and I begin to say, ooh, Yahweh creation, ooh, it's so amazing, so marvelous. And I wanna thank you for giving me another day. Ooh, I wanna thank you. I wanna praise your name for giving me another chance. I wanna praise you. I wanna give you thanks for giving me your mercy and your grace.
I'm Judah. They call us African Americans today. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now.
I'm Benjamin. They call us West Indians now. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up
I'm
now.
Levi. They call us Haitians now. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now. I'm Ephraim. They call us Puerto Ricans. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now. I'm Manasseh. They call us Cubans now. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now. I'm Simeon. They call us Dominicans now. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now. I'm Zebulon. They call us Hondurans and Guatemalans. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now. I'm Gad. They call us Native Americans. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now. I'm Reuben. They call us Seminoles. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now. I'm Asher. They call us Colombians. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now. I'm Issachar. They call us Mexicans. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now. I'm Naphtali. They call us Chileans and Argentinians. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now.
What if I told you the people in those old Bible illustrations, the pale skin, straight hair, blue eyes, might not look anything like the original Hebrews? What if I told you that the people of modern-day Israel are not actually God's chosen people, and the people that so many American churches send money to? What if the truth has been hiding in plain sight, buried under centuries of tradition, revision, and silence? This isn't about race. This is about roots. Black and melanated people around the world are waking up to something powerful, something ancient. Clues from the Bible, geography, history, and even modern DNA studies all point to a bold truth. The original Hebrews may have looked more like the people who were enslaved, scattered, and forgotten than those for them. Could it be that Black and some Middle Eastern people share something deeper, something sacred in their bloodline? Let's journey back and let the Bible and history speak. Share your thoughts and research in the comments as we all seek to grow in knowledge and truth. Let's begin with something that's easy to overlook, but incredibly important. In the book of Exodus, we learn that Moses was a Hebrew, born into slavery under the Pharaoh of Egypt. But due to a divine twist, he was raised in the very palace of the man who wanted his people controlled. Pharaoh's daughter found Moses floating in a basket in the Nile River and raised him as her own son. So Moses grew up in the royal Egyptian court, surrounded by Egyptian culture, clothes, and language. Now here's where it gets interesting. Years later, after Moses killed an Egyptian to defend one of his fellow Hebrews, he fled into the land of Midian. There, he met some women at a well who were being harassed by shepherds. Moses stepped in and helped them. When the women returned home, they told their father, "An Egyptian rescued us." Exodus 2:19. Let that sink in. Moses was mistaken for an Egyptian. These women weren't confused. They assumed he was Egyptian based on how he looked. They didn't say, "A foreigner helped us," or "a stranger." They said, "an Egyptian." Now here's the key. Ancient Egyptians were African. Paintings, sculptures, and even mummies from that time show people with dark skin, full lips, broad noses, and tightly curled or braided hair. They were not the pale-skinned Egyptians we sometimes see in Hollywood movies. So if Moses looked like an Egyptian, and Egyptians were dark-skinned Africans, then what does that say about Moses? It says that Moses was likely dark-skinned too. That means the Hebrews, his people, were also melanated. Let's back up a bit. Before Moses, Joseph, another well-known Hebrew, was sold into slavery in Egypt. He rose to become second in command, serving directly under Pharaoh. When his brothers came to Egypt during a famine, they didn't even recognize him. He had Egyptian clothes, yes, but the disguise wouldn't have worked if he looked totally different. Again, the Hebrews could blend in with the Egyptians because they looked alike. Even more powerful is what happens hundreds of years later with Jesus. When King Herod wanted to kill all the Hebrew baby boys, God sent a message to Joseph in a dream. He told him to take Mary and baby Jesus and flee to Egypt. Matthew 2:13-15. Think about it. Why Egypt? Because it was a place where Jesus could hide, a safe place where no one would suspect a thing. If Jesus and his family looked like Northern Europeans with light skin and blue eyes, they would have stood out in Egypt. But they didn't. They could pass among Egyptians without raising suspicion. That tells us something about how Jesus looked and how Hebrews looked in general. These aren't just small details. These are powerful clues hidden in plain sight. If Moses, Joseph, and Jesus were all able to live among Egyptians without being noticed or treated as foreigners, that tells us something major. The Hebrews were people of color. For generations, many have pictured the Hebrews through a European lens. But the Bible tells a different story, one that leads us back to Africa and back to the truth. And this is just the beginning. To understand who the original Hebrews were, we have to go back even further, all the way to the beginning, not just to Abraham or Moses, but to the creation story in Genesis. The first few chapters of the Bible give us a major clue about the original location of humanity, and it might surprise you. Genesis 2:10-14 talks about the Garden of Eden. The Bible says a river flowed out of Eden and split into 4 headwaters. One of those rivers is called the Gihon, which the Bible says winds through the entire land of Cush. In ancient terms, Cush is the region we now know as modern-day Sudan and parts of Ethiopia. That's Africa. So the Bible's first description of Earth's geography includes African territory. Another river, the Pishon, is described as flowing around the land of Havilah, where there is gold. Havilah is believed by many scholars to be located near the Arabian Peninsula and northeastern Africa. The other rivers mentioned are the Tigris and the Euphrates, which are in modern-day Iraq. What does this tell us? It shows us that Eden was not located in Europe or even far into Asia. It was centered in a region that connects Africa and the Middle East. This is often called the Fertile Crescent, or the cradle of civilization. And that matters because this is where the Bible's earliest people lived. From Adam and Eve to Noah and eventually Abraham, all of these early figures came from this African Middle Eastern region. Abraham himself was from Ur of the Chaldees, Genesis 11:31, which is in ancient Mesopotamia.
Best way to fix prostate problems? Saw palm.
Iraq. But he traveled west into Canaan, which bordered Egypt, a known African empire. So if Eden's rivers flowed through Africa, and early civilizations rose in Africa and Mesopotamia, and Abraham came from that area, then what does that suggest about the physical appearance of these early people? It suggests they were likely melanated people, brown-skinned or black. And the story doesn't stop there. When the Hebrews left Egypt during the Exodus, they didn't go north into Europe. They traveled through the Sinai Peninsula, down into deserts near Ethiopia and Arabia. Even the Queen of Sheba, who later visits Solomon, came from a region in either southern Arabia or modern-day Ethiopia. Throughout the Bible, The nations closest to Israel were Cush, Ethiopia, Mizraim, Egypt, and Put, Libya, all in Africa. These people weren't far-off foreigners. They were relatives. Many of these nations came from Ham, one of Noah's sons, and their descendants lived side by side with the children of Shem, from whom the Hebrews came. In other words, the original Hebrews lived among other dark-skinned nations, intermarried with them at times, and shared similar culture and climate. The Bible isn't silent about this. It's just that many have read it without connecting the dots. The geography of the Bible doesn't point north to Europe. It points south and east to Africa and the Middle East. And that's exactly where we'll go next. To understand who black people are in the Bible, we have to zoom in on a specific group within the Hebrew nation, the tribe of Judah. This tribe wasn't just any tribe. Judah was the royal line, the tribe from which King David, King Solomon, and even Jesus Christ came. That's why Judah is so important, and why what happened to them matters today. Let's break it down. After the reign of King Solomon, the nation of Israel split into two kingdoms, the northern kingdom, called Israel, and the southern kingdom, called Judah. Judah included the tribes of Judah and Benjamin, and it became the place where Jerusalem and the temple were located. Now here's the turning point. The northern kingdom of Israel was conquered by Assyria around 722 BC, and many of those tribes were scattered and lost to history. But the kingdom of Judah remained for a while longer until Babylon took them into captivity. But even after Babylon, many from Judah returned to Jerusalem, yet a large part of the population did not. Over time, especially after the Roman invasion in 70 AD, the people of Judah were scattered throughout Africa and beyond. This is where the story of many black people begins to intersect. According to historical accounts and oral traditions, many Judeans fled into West Africa to escape Roman persecution. From there, they blended into African societies, but they kept parts of their identity. Some kept the Sabbath, practiced circumcision, honored dietary laws, and passed down oral traditions that sounded very Hebrew. Later, during the transatlantic slave trade, millions of Africans were taken from West Africa, the same regions where many of these dispersed Judeans had settled. These were not just random tribes. Many were known to follow customs found in the Bible. That's why some historians and Bible researchers believe that black people in the Americas and the Caribbean, descendants of enslaved Africans, are descendants of the tribe of Judah. Let's not forget the prophecy. In Deuteronomy 28:68, God warned his people that if they turned away from his commandments, the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Egypt in this context represents bondage, and ships? That's exactly how African slaves were transported to the Americas. This wasn't just a punishment, it was a prophecy. And many believe this prophecy was fulfilled in the black experience. Judah, the tribe of kings, was scattered, but not destroyed. The world may have forgotten them, but God has not. In Jeremiah 14:2, it says, Judah mourneth, and their faces are black unto the ground. While some translations interpret this poetically, others argue it is a literal description, further reinforcing that Judah was a melanated people. So when we talk about black people today, especially those with deep faith, strong family traditions, and an unexplainable connection to Scripture, we may be seeing the lost tribe of Judah waking up to their identity. This isn't about pride, it's about prophecy. It's about remembering what the world tried to erase. Judah was scattered, but Judah will rise. The story of the Hebrews didn't end in Israel. It continued deep into the heart of Africa. When the Romans invaded Jerusalem in 70 AD, they didn't just destroy the temple, they scattered the remaining Jews, especially those from the tribe of Judah, across many lands. The Bible itself prophesied this scattering.
What's the number one cause of heart attacks? Is it high cholesterol? Nope. High
24, Jesus said, "They will fall by the edge of the sword, and be led away captive into all nations. So where did they go? Many fled southward into the continent of Africa. They didn't head to Europe. That would have been walking into danger. They ran where they could survive, blend in, and keep their customs alive. That place was Africa, where their skin color and culture allowed them to disappear among other dark-skinned people. One of the most overlooked truths in history is that large populations of Hebrews lived in Africa for centuries. Scholars have documented Hebrew communities in Ethiopia, Sudan, Nigeria, Ghana, and Mali. They practiced circumcision, followed dietary laws, and observed the Sabbath. Some even wore fringes on their garments, just like commanded in the Torah. Let's look at the Igbo people of Nigeria. Many Igbos have passed down the belief for generations that they are descendants of Judah. They have songs, prayers, and customs that mirror those found in ancient Hebrew traditions. Even their language includes Hebrew-like words. Another group, the Lemba people of southern Africa, have oral traditions claiming descent from priests and temple builders in Jerusalem. And DNA tests have confirmed that some Lemba men share the Cohen gene, linked to the Jewish priestly line. Now think about the transatlantic slave trade. The majority of enslaved Africans came from West Africa, the same region where many of these lost Hebrew tribes had been living for centuries. These weren't just random people picked up off the coast. Many were already in exile, carrying an identity that the world didn't recognize. They were part of Judah, and they were taken in chains, just like the prophecy in Deuteronomy 28 said. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies, and no man shall buy you, rescue you. The Bible also says that these people would lose their identity. In Jeremiah 17:4, God tells his people, "You shall discontinue from your heritage." That means they wouldn't know who they were. Their names, their language, their customs, all stripped away. And that's exactly what happened to black people through slavery. But here's the good news. The awakening has begun. Around the world, black people are asking questions, digging through scripture, and reconnecting with their spiritual heritage. They're learning that their history didn't begin with slavery. It began with royalty, covenant, and calling. They're discovering that their suffering was not random, but prophesied, and their restoration is part of God's plan. Africa was not just a place of captivity. It was a place of refuge, preservation, and hidden identity. Judah hid in Africa. And now, Judah is waking up. All throughout history, the tribe of Judah has been hunted, scattered, enslaved, and silenced. Their identity was stolen, their stories erased, and their legacy twisted. But the Bible said this would happen. It also said the day would come when they would remember who they are. Isaiah chapter 1 verse 3 says, "The ox knows his owner, and the donkey his master's crib, but Israel does not know. My people do not consider." For generations, black people around the world have struggled to answer the question, who are we really? Some said we were cursed. Others said we were lost. Many were told we had no history before slavery. But now, something is shifting. More and more black people are beginning to realize that the Bible may be telling their story, a story of greatness, exile, and return. They're discovering that the tribe of Judah may not be gone. They may be hidden in plain sight. Think about this. Who else has faced 400 years of slavery, oppression, and systemic targeting, just like the Hebrews in Egypt? Who else sings spirituals about deliverance, cries out to God in every trial, and holds tight to faith, even when everything says to give up? Who else fits the prophecies of Deuteronomy 28, being taken in ships, sold to enemies, scattered into nations, their true identity stripped away? And who else, after centuries of silence, is now rising up with strength, wisdom, and an unshakable spiritual fire? Black people all over the world. This awakening isn't about superiority. It's about truth. It's about reclaiming an identity that was buried under colonization, rewritten by oppressors, and disguised by tradition. It's about looking into the mirror and seeing not just a survivor of history, but a child of prophecy, a descendant of kings,
We're Phoenix Energy, a family-owned oil company.
A member of the royal tribe of Judah. Even in the New Testament, Hebrews are reminded that their lineage has meaning. 1 Peter chapter 2:9 calls God's people a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people. That's not just spiritual, it's historical. The world may try to explain this movement away, but you can't explain away prophecy. You can't ignore the call that's waking people up in every corner of the earth. From the United States to the Caribbean, from Nigeria to Brazil, from Ethiopia to Jamaica, Judah is rising. And what's next? The Bible says in Zephaniah 3:10, "From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my worshippers, the daughter of my dispersed ones, shall bring my offering." That's future tense. That's a promise. God sees his people, and he's calling them back. This message isn't just information, it's a revelation. It's not just about history, it's about destiny. Black and melanated people, your story didn't begin in chains. It began in covenant. You are not forgotten. You are not cursed. You are not lost. You are Judah, and you are rising. If this message stirred something in you, don't let it stop here. Share your thoughts and research in the comments, whether you agree or not. Subscribe to our channel. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, and type your name in the comments so we can pray for your journey. The awakening has begun, and you are part of it.
Shalom.
All right, we're back at it. Once more again, I'm Brother Yagdai Israel, from the fourth son of Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. For questions or comments, we can be contacted by phone. The number is area code 331-312-4022. Once more again, for questions or comments, we can be contacted by phone. That number is area code 331-312-4022. My brothers, my sisters, my peoples. Once more again, also, we can also be contacted by way of our email address. That email address is YHDHYSRAEL@gmail.com. Once again, that email address is YHDHYSRAEL@gmail.com. You can drop us a line by way of our email, my brothers, my sisters, my people. And once again, we are recording simultaneously tonight on Facebook, on our Facebook page as well as our YouTube page. You can get to that YouTube page and Facebook page up under the name of YHDHYSRAEL@gmail.com. So we record live on Facebook and YouTube on Tuesday and on Friday. That slotted time is 6. We begin at about 6 p.m. and we usually run to about 8 or somewhere on the other side of 8:30, sometimes 9. We run this thing, but we still on the plantation, so, and we get older by the day, and my sisters, my people, so we try to give it all we got to the Most High and his purpose, and his main issue is to regather the 12 tribes of Israel, physically and spiritually, my brothers, my sisters, and my people. But we're going to get ready to dive into the scriptures. And we're going to open up in the book of Luke. Want to Open up in the book of Luke, chapter 12, and verse number 12, and it reads, "For the righteous spirit shall teach you in the same hour what you ought to say." And we believe that, my brothers, that the righteous minister spirit, the one that the world refer to as the Holy Ghost, but we know him as Yahweh's righteous spirit. One of his assignments is to do some teaching. And let's see what else he been commanded to do. In the book of St. John 14, verse 26, it reads, "But the Comforter, which is the righteous spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things and bring all things to your remembrance." Not only do he teach, but he makes sure it comes back when you need it. My brothers, my sister, he brings it back to our memory. Going right to the book of St. John, make that Daniel, chapter 9, verse 20. And it reads, book of Daniel 9, verse 20. "And while I was speaking and praying and confessing my sin and the sin of my people, Israel, presented my supplication before Yahweh, my Yahweh, for the righteous mountain of my Yahweh." Verse 21. "Yea, while I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel." Now we see that Daniel referred to this guy as a man. So we know his appearance is a male figure, right? But he is no man. Gabriel is what the world know as an angel of the Most High Yahweh. He is one of Yahweh's messengers, my brothers. The one that bring forth the info and bring it back to our remembrance. In the book of Daniel 9, verse 21. "Yet while I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being called to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation." The time of the evening sacrifice, my brothers. That's what an oblation is. It's a sacrifice. Daniel 9, animal sacrifice at that, my brothers, my sisters. Daniel 9, verse 22. "And he will form me, talk with me." So when the angel, minister spirits show up, they come with some information, my brothers. They bring forth a message from the throne on high. And we're going to show you how you can dive in, get in to what the Most High has putting out. You got to be in a certain group, and you got to be doing certain things, my brothers, my sisters, my people. "And he informed me and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I am now come forth to give thee skill and understanding," my brothers. So he come forth with information that will give you skill and understanding. In what? In the word of the Most High Yahweh. That's what his job description is all about. Now let's look at this understanding. Go right to the book of Job, chapter 28. I'm going to pick it up at verse 28. Book of Job, chapter 28. Let's peep at this thing right quick. Verse number 28. Well, let me pick it up at verse 26. Let me read a little bit of this. Job 28, verse 26. "When he made a decree for the rain and a way for the lightning of the thunder." Verse 27. "Then he see it and declare it. He prepared it, yea, and searched it out." Now, this don't sound like what I need. "And unto man," well, I guess it is, though.
Let me go back and read that again because I read it hesitantly, my brother. I read it unsure. Job 28, verse 26. Now I can be sure this is the place I need to be. Job 28, verse 26. When he made a decree for the rain and a way for the lightning of the thunder. Verse number 27. Then did he see it and declare it. He prepared a gate and searched it out. Verse 28. And unto man he said, behold, the fear of Yahweh, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding. So when the Bible talk about evil, what is he referring to as evil? When we sin against the commandments of Yahweh. Yahweh said that we are constituted as an evil people, my brothers. So when you break his laws, statutes, and commandments, he look at you as you are evil, just plain and simple. He look at us as though we are filthy rags, in other words. My brothers, my sisters, let me see if I can pull out a few statements to bag up that premise that evil, according to Yahweh, is when we break his statute laws and his commandments. Go right to Exodus 3. We're going to pick it up at verse number 15. The book of Exodus 3, verse 15. Then I came to them of the captivity at Tel Abib, that dwelt by the river of Shabar. And I sat where they sat, and remained there, astonished among them 7 days. Verse number, is this what I need? Nah. And it came to pass at the end of 7 days that the word of Yahweh came unto me. Now, this ain't what I need. Let me peep at. Is it Isaiah or Ezekiel? I want to look at Ezekiel. I thought it was chapter 3, but maybe that's Ezekiel. Let me see this right quick. I want to read a couple of statements. I thought it was in Ezekiel chapter 3. And I wanted to start at verse number 15. And this is not what I need. Yeah, well, it is, but I should have started a little later. But let's get to it. Ezekiel 3, verse 16. And he reads, and it came to pass at the end of 7 days that the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, verse 17, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the family of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me. Verse number 18, when I say unto the wicked, now the word wicked and evil is one and the same. Thou shalt surely die. And thou speakest him not, and thou speakest, and thou givest him not warning. Thou speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life. The same wicked man shall die in his iniquity. Sin, my brothers. Sin in the eyes of Yahweh is wicked and it's evil. But his blood will I require at thy hand. Verse number 19. If thou warn the wicked, and he turn from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his sin, but thou shalt deliver thy soul. So when we transgress against the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, Yahweh is wicked, is evil in his eyes, my brothers. my sisters, my people. Again, when a righteous man, in other words, one that is keeping Yahweh's laws, statutes, and commandments, does turn from his righteousness, from keeping Yahweh's statute, laws, and commandments, and commit sin, iniquity, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die, because thou hast not given him warning. He shall die in his sin, and his righteousness, which he hath done, shall not be remembered. But his blood will I require at your hand. Verse 21. Nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man, that the righteous sin not, and he do not sin, shall surely live, because he is warned. Also, thou hast delivered yourself, my brother. So that's what we're trying to do. We're going to spread the word of Yahweh because we want to give warning to the 12 tribes of Israel so we can deliver our soul. We can deliver ourselves, my brothers, my sisters, my people. So we ran to St. John. We ran to Daniel. Let's run to the book of, let's see what we want. Psalms 111, verse 10. Now, how do we get this information from on high, from the Most High Yahweh? What we got to be about to receive his knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Psalms 111, verse 10. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do what? His commandments. His praise endures forever. So we got to be doers of his statute, laws, and his commandments in order to receive anything from him. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9. Let's go to Sirach. We want to run on round 2. Sirach. Run on around 2. Sirach. Ecclesiasticus 1, verse 5. We'll bypass that wisdom of Solomon. The word of Yahweh Most High is the fountain of wisdom, and her ways are everlasting commandments. Verse number 6. To whom have the root of wisdom been revealed? That is a good question. Or who have known her wise counsel? Verse number 7. Unto whom hath the knowledge of wisdom been made manifest, and who have understood her great experience? Now we're going to go grab a answer to that question. Who do he give his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to, according to what we can read? In Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 1, verse 26, it reads, if thou desire wisdom, all we got to do, keep the commandments. And what would happen? And Yahweh shall give her unto thee, my brothers. When we keep his statute, laws, and commandments, then we will begin to understand the ways of the Most High Yahweh. But we're going to run and grab us some Genesis right quick. We want to peep at Genesis chapter 15 and verse number 12. The book of Genesis 15, verse 12. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of a great darkness fell upon him. Verse 13. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years, my brothers. So the Most High has given Abraham prophecy of what would happen to his offspring, his bloodline, down the way, right down the road, in the future. In other words, they would be strangers in a land that is not theirs, where they didn't receive no land. They didn't have a land until they came up out of the house of bondage. Yahweh gave them the land of Canaan. So they were strangers, and whatever they was at, it wasn't their land, my brothers, my sisters. First point, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them. What? 400 years. So they said that they would be afflicted for 400 years, my brothers, my sisters, my people. Let's see what else the prophecy say. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. Verse 15, and thou shalt go to thy father in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. Now let's pay attention to what the Most High say. In verse number 16, it reads, but in the fourth generation they should come hither again for the iniquity of who? The Amorites. Who is the Amorites? Is not yet full. So Yahweh say he would judge that nation. And the only nation he called out by name that he was waiting for their iniquity to be full was the Amorites, my brothers, my sisters, my people. That's what the scriptures say. Let's peep at this thing from another point of view. Gonna go to Acts chapter 7, verse 6, and it reads, and Yahweh spake on this wise, that his seed should sojourn in a strange land. But wherever they was at, it was a strange land, my brothers, my sisters. They didn't receive an inheritance of land until they came up out of Egypt, my brothers, my sisters, my people. And Yahweh spake on this wise, that his seed should sojourn. That means dwell amongst other people. That's what the word sojourn means. And that they should bring them into bondage and entreat them evil 400 years. That's what the scriptures say. Doesn't say that they will be in bondage 400 years. Doesn't say that they will be up under the Egyptians 400 years. Say they will be evil entreated 400 years, my brothers, my sisters, my people. Now let's see what happens in verse number. We're going to drop down to verse 17. Going to pick it up in verse 17, and it reads, the book of Acts 7, verse 17. But when the time of the promise drew nigh, which Yahweh has sworn to who? To Abraham, my brothers. So this go way beyond their time as sojourner in the land of Canaan and the land of Egypt, my brothers. Promise go all the way back to Abraham. But when the time of the promise drew nigh, which Yahweh had sworn to Abraham, the people grew and multiplied in Egypt. Verse number 18. Till another king arose which knew not Joseph. Now they was in Egypt when they went to Egypt, my brothers, my sisters. Let me just pause for the cause. When they went to Egypt, Pharaoh gave them the best. They was up under the leadership. Joseph was second to Pharaoh. Joseph came into Egypt at the age of 17. He died at the age of 110 years old. That means he was in Egypt some 93 years, my brothers, my sisters. So for 93 years in Egypt, Israel lived high on the hog. My brothers, we read the scripture said that they would bring them into bondage. So they wasn't in bondage when they went first to Egypt. They was experiencing glory, my brothers, my sisters, my people, till another king arose which knew not Joseph. So after the death of Joseph and his brethren, there arose a king that didn't understand what Joseph had done to preserve the nation of what they call Egypt, which we know biblically as Mizraim, the second son of Noah. No, the second son of Ham, Noah's son, right? That's the way that thing goes. Verse number 19. The same dealt subtilely with our kindreds, and evil entreated our fathers, so that they cast out their young children, to the end they might not live. Verse number 20. In which time Moses was born. So Moses wasn't born 300 years later. At that time when they began to be afflicted, then they tried to off Moses. Then his mother put him in a bushel, a basket, and put him on the Niles. Pharaoh's sister, daughter, whoever it was, picked him up and claimed him as her own child. Moses was born when the affliction began, my brothers. Some 59, 60 years after the 12 patriarchs had died. It wasn't on 300 years later. The scriptures say, in which time, when there rose up a Pharaoh that knew not Joseph, that time, and was exceeding fair, and nourished up in his father's house 3 months. So he was in his mama and daddy bosom for 3 months. My brothers, you can learn a lot in 3 months. Verse number 21. And when he was cast out, Pharaoh's daughter took him up and nourished him for her own son. So Moses was raised in the palace of Pharaoh. Verse number 22. And Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, and was mighty in words and in deed. My brothers, my sisters, my people. So Moses rose up at the time, drew near, that Yahweh would deliver his people. Verse 23. And when he was full 40 years old, it came into his mind to visit his brethren, who? The children of Israel, my brother. So Moses was born when the affliction began in Egypt. And that didn't happen until after Joseph and his brethren. Let's read that. We're going to go to Exodus. Exodus. Let's see when the affliction began in Egypt. Exodus chapter 1. We're going to pick it up about verse number 11. Exodus chapter 1, verse 11. Let's see when the affliction began. In Exodus chapter 1, verse number 11. Well, let's pick it up a little earlier than that. How about verse number 9? Let's peep at this thing. Let's see when the affliction began upon the Egyptians. Exodus 1, verse 9. And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the family of Israel are more and mightier than we. Let me see if I need to pick it up a little earlier than that. Let me see where we need to pick this up at. Let me see. We want to find out when Joseph and all his brethren died. That's what we want to look at. And Joseph died. Joseph died at 110 years old. He had been in Egypt some 93 years. It had been 71 years that the whole family of Israel was in Egypt before Joseph died. So we know 71 years they was living it up, my brothers. They wasn't being afflicted the first 71 years before Joseph died. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. Verse number 7. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly, and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty. That's the position they was in, my brothers. When Joseph and his brethren died, they wasn't in no bondage. They was living high on the hog. And the land was filled with, they was not only living high, they was producing rapidly. Verse number 8. Now there arose up a king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. Verse number 9. And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Verse number 10. And he reads, Come on, let us deal wisely with them. He say, multiply. And it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us. So get them up out of the land. Verse number 11. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. They built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramesses. Verse number 12. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. Verse 13. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. We want to look that word up. We want to know exactly what they talking about, my brothers. Let's look up that word rigor with the quickness. Let's peep at that word called rigor, my brothers, my sisters, my people. What did that word rigor mean? The quality of being extremely thorough, exhaustive, or accurate. Let's see if we can get something better, because I didn't really understand. So I can't explain nothing I don't understand, my brothers, my sisters, my people. Let's see if we can get a better definition than that, even though it kind of makes sense. Rigor. This is from dictionary, online dictionary. Let me see what this say. Rigor. Harsh. And they say, but just treatment or action. We know it's harsh, but was it just? A severe or cruel circumstances. Hardship. The rigorous of famine. Strictness. Harshness. A severity of character. So they treated them harshly, very harshly. They put on them hardships. Do that sound like, people today? That's up under harshness and hardship, my brothers, my sisters, my people. Let's peep at this thing. Let's get back to that Exodus chapter 1, verse number 13. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor, very harshness, my brothers, with severity of labor, my brothers, my sisters, my people. But I want to find out who was born in the midst when all this jumped off, let's see if we can pull it out in Exodus chapter 2. Let's see who was born when all this began to spring forth. Moses wasn't born no 300 years later. My brothers, my sisters, it was a short time. I'm estimating 60 years after the 12 patriarchs had died. Moses was on the scene in Exodus 2, verse number 1. And there went a man of the family of Levi and took to wife a daughter of Levi. Verse 2. And the woman conceived and bare a son. And when she saw him that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months. Verse 3. And when she could no longer hide him, she took him for an ark. She took for him an ark of bulrush, and daubed it with slime and with pitch, and put the child therein. And she laid it in the flags by the river's brink. We want to find out who this child is. Let's put a name on him that's being born as this affliction begin, my brothers. Now I know 400, 300 years later, I estimate, according to the timeline, maybe 60 years is my estimation. It's a educated guess. My brothers, my sisters, my people. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown. Now I want to get where she gave him that name in Exodus 2. Let me see. Where did she put the name on him? Moses. That's what I want to name. Right there, verse 10. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter. Okay. So this was Pharaoh's grandbaby. Moses, right? And he became her son. And she called his name Moshe. And she said, because I drew him out of the water. That's why she named him Moshe. Remember we read earlier that names have significance. It encapsulates the essence of that individual. Now we name our children anything that sound good, right? Long as it sound good. I want my baby to have my name, right? Well, your name came from where? From your slave master. That's where it came from. So you putting slavery all over again on your offspring. I know, because I did it. No pun intended. I was in the dark, but now I've come to the light. Hallelujah. But Moses was born at the time when Yahweh was ready to deliver the children of Israel. They was afflicted, 400 years. They sojourned in strange lands. They didn't have their own piece of real estate until they came up out of Egypt, my brothers. When they went down, it was only 70 souls. So they had to become a multitude, my brothers, my sisters, my people. And we're going to run to Exodus chapter 12. We want to peep at Exodus chapter 12, verse number 37. Book of Exodus 12. We want to peep at verse 37, and it reads, Exodus 12, verse 37. Let's peep at this. Let's pay a close attention to what we're reading here. My brothers, my sisters. Exodus 12, verse 37. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot that were men. He said, besides the children. Now let's see what that figure. What is 600,000? Let me see if I can do a little. Let me see if I can figure this thing out. I want to know How much would 600,000 be? How many is 600,000? Let me ask the question. 600,000, it is representing 600 units of 1,000. No, well, that ain't all. That ain't. I want to just know a number. How many would 600,000 be? That's what I want to know. How many would 600,000 people be? How many millions are in 600,000? Now we're getting close to it. It says 600,000 equals 0.6 million. To convert to million, you divide the number by 100,000. Therefore, 600,000 divided by 100,000 equals 6. 0.6 million people, my brothers, my sisters. Let me see if I can make it even more clear than that. Let me see if we got something that would make it even more clear than that. Let me see what this say. This. Let me see. I don't see what I need here, so I better let it go. Because they ain't saying exactly what they ain't making it simple for me around here today. Let me see. How many would 600,000 people be? Let me see what they say here. World population clock, 8.3 billion people. So they say it's 8.3 billion people's on the planet today, right? But how many would 600,000 be is what I want to know. And they not giving me any clue here. How many people are there in the world? That ain't what I want to know. I know it's 3 billion people's on the planet is what they saying here. But I wanted to know, well, the only thing I got is how many people are, well, they ain't saying nothing I want to hear. Well, we got it's 0.6 million people, my brother. And that's besides children. Verse number 38. A mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle. Verse number 12. Verse 39. And they baked unleavened cakes of dough, let me read that again. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough, which they brought forth out of Egypt. For it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt, and could not tarry, neither had they prepared for themselves any victuals. Verse number 40. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel, who dwelt in Egypt, was 430 years, my brothers. 430 years. Now we got another number on the table. 430 years. Now let's peep at let's look at some of the other translations of this scripture. We want to peep at some of the other translations and see what they say. Let me peep at this thing right quick. I want to run to right here is what we want to read. It reads, Exodus 12:40. Did it originally mention Canaan? Acts 8 years ago, modified 5 years to 2 months, viewed 3,000 times. Just as Moses finally led the children out of slavery, Exodus 12:40 tells us how long the Israelites had lived in Egypt. No, it doesn't tell us how long they lived in Egypt. Now, that's inserting into the scriptures. They said that they left after 430 years. The time that the Israelite had lived in Egypt was 430 years. Let's see if that's so. Instead, I've just learned that a textual variant which mentions Canaan is found here in other verses. In the Septuagint, New English translation of the Septuagint, now the residents of the sons of Israel, during which they dwelt in the land Egypt and in the land of Canaan, was 430 years. This is in the Samaritan Torah, my brothers. The Samaritan Pentateuch in English reads, now the sojourning of the children of Israel and fathers of them who dwelt in Canaan and in Egypt was 430 years, my brothers. Even Josephus elaborates of the Exodus narrative, mentions Canaan at the same point in the story, beginning his count of the 430 years, my brothers, my sisters, my people. So let's look at these 430 years when they sojourned. According to the Pentateuch, Samaritan Pentateuch, according to the translation of the Septuagint, it was in the land of Canaan and Egypt, constituted the 430 years, my brothers, my sisters, my people. Let's peep at that. Now we're going to run to Galatians to find out when this 430-year period was on the clock, when it began. In the book of Galatians, my brothers. Let's see if we can determine the starting point for this 430 years. Was it when they went into Egypt, my brothers? Let's peep at it. Let's see if we can pinpoint a few things, my brothers. When did the count of this 430 years begin? We're going to read Galatians 3, verse number 14. That the blessings of Abraham. Now, that's too far down the road. Let me see where I want to pick this up at. Let's see where we want to pick this up at. We want to look at these 430 years. Let's see when it began, when the count began, my brothers. Let's look at these 430 years. When did the count begin? Let's pick it up at verse 16. Now Abraham and his seed were the promise made. He said not, and to seeds as of many, but as of one, and to thy seed, which is Yahweh, the Hamashiach. Verse 17. And this I say, that the covenant that was confirmed before of Yahweh, and Yahweh the Hamashiach, the law, which was 430 years after, cannot disannul that it should make what? The promise of none effect. So when was this promise made? It was made to Abraham, my brother. That's when the 430-year time period began, when it was confirmed between Yahweh and Abraham, my brothers, my sisters, my people. This is your 430-year time period from Abraham to the law. And we know they didn't receive the law until somewhere around 1440, because they wandered in the wilderness 1406 BC. They wandered in the wilderness 40 years, my brothers. They didn't receive the law until they came to Mount Sinai. Well, it wasn't 40 years. It was right at the beginning. They may correct that now. Let's see when they received this instructions. We're going to go to Exodus chapter 19. Let me see, what was the time period when they received the instruction. We know they came out of Egypt. Somewhere, the historical records say somewhere around 1446 BC. But let's see, when did they receive the instructions? In the book of Exodus chapter 19. Book of Exodus chapter 19 verse number 1. And it reads, book of Exodus 19 verse 1. In the 3rd month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. So it was in the 3rd month. They left in the month Abib, which is equivalent to what we know as April. So the 3rd month would be what we know as June. This is when they received Yahweh's instructions. Let's see if we can read a little bit of this. Verse number 2. For they were departed from Rephidim and were come to the desert of Sinai and had pitched in the wilderness. And there Israel camped before the mount. Verse number 3. And Moses went up unto Yahweh. And Yahweh called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the family of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel. Verse 4. You have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle wings, and brought you unto myself. Verse 5. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar, special treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. Verse number 6, and it reads, book of Exodus 19, verse 6, you shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, a righteous nations. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. And Moses came and called for the elders of the people, and laid before their faces all these words which Yahweh commanded. Verse number 8. And all the people answered together and said, all that Yahweh has spoken we will do. And Moses returned the words of the people unto Yahweh. This is when he gave them the covenant, my brothers. The 3rd month after leaving Egypt, my brothers, my sisters, my people. Let me peep at this. Let me see. We're gonna hold it right there. We get back at this tomorrow, my brothers, my sisters. But we're gonna close this thing out right there. To the 12 tribes of Israel that's scattered to the 4 corners of the globe, Yahweh be with you, and Yahweh bless you. Shalom, shalom, Shabbat, shalom.
It's time to celebrate. You've got holy days. 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 It's time to celebrate. You've got devastation and destruction, like a world will never see. Babylon will be the first place that will be totally wiped off of the sea. Never again rise up, if you know what I mean. All we can do right now is hope that we will be delivered from the wrath that shall come. All we can do right now is hope that we will be delivered from the wrath that shall come. All we can do right now is hope that we will be delivered from the wrath that shall come. All we can do right now is hope that we will be delivered from the wrath that shall come. It's gonna be a total surprise when we see the Hamashiach. He said he's coming like a thief in the night. It's gonna be a terrible sight. In his word, he said, this world will never admit it, but the world to come shall for our few. And if you wanna be in it, there's some things we must do. We must keep the statutes, laws, and commandments true. Can you envision the kingdom of heaven, how will it be? Can you envision? Oh, wonder, can you see? Can you imagine how the kingdom of heaven will be? Can you envision? I wonder, do you think? Can you imagine a place where we can truly be free? Can you envision? I wonder, can you see? Can you imagine how the kingdom of heaven will be? I often envision about the kingdom of heaven. How will it be? I just let my imagination run free. There will be no more Jim Crow, that's for sure. We're landed will no longer be. There will be no more strange fruit hanging from the popular tree. You know the first will be last, and the last shall be first. Can you picture that? The rose of Esau when Jacob Israel shall be reversed. Can you envision? I wonder, can you see? Can you imagine how the kingdom of heaven will be? Can you envision? I wonder, do you think? Can you imagine a place where we can truly be free? Can you envision? I wonder, can you see? Can you imagine how the kingdom of heaven will be? I often envision about the kingdom of heaven. How will it be? I just let my imagination run free. There will be no more Jim Crow, that's for sure. We're landed will no longer be. There will be no more strange fruit hanging from the popular tree. You know the first will be last, and the last shall be first. Can you picture that? The rose of Esau when Jacob Israel shall be reversed. Can you envision?